Dzień dobry. Miło ci poznać. Jak leci? Jestem dobry. Dziękuję. Przepraszam, angielski proszę. Hey everyone, this is Yaki the Free here playing in the Hell Hades 2025 free-to-play challenge. And today is day 37 and day 38 in about 10 hours, I think it is, for the login. Just trying to speak Polish. It's notably known as one of the top four most difficult languages for non-native speakers to pick up, but it's a beautiful language if you can speak it even slightly correctly. However, interesting things about Poland and the language of Polish to me is Mary Curie was the first female Nobel laureate ever. Now, Poland's had 17 Nobel laureates, but Mary Curie was the first female of anywhere on the planet to receive one. Secondly, if you are a born Polish resident, or I guess if you go there and you get the residency or whatever citizenship, college is free in Poland. So the reason that I say college is free and it's important is this is a free to play challenge, obviously. And I'll get back to what I was alluding to. I'm kind of foreshadowing about getting something good like college for free, something that'll propel you deep into your future. So first of all, let's go into the leaderboard. And Yakety the Free has cracked 7,300 points, but I'm way back here, 465 points back of Garay and Dares. Very happy though. Still haven't pulled a gold legendary on this account. But if you ask me, I've had a few legendaries like Apoth, Daithy, and some of that I'll show you quite soon. And another thing about this leaderboard here is the faction wars. Pardon me. I just did a whole bunch of shoveling again. I don't know what the weather's like where you guys are, but if you look up Toronto and the Brampton area of Ontario, Canada, and you take a look at the amount of snowfall we've had accumulate in the past 3 days. I just finished like a half an hour ago, and we're still going to get like another foot or 30 centimeters coming. Anywho, that's part of the life in Canada. It makes it really special for newcomers when there's not so much of it because it must look like the world's turned upside down to some people because there's a lot of international students that travel to this area. So we come out of the leaderboard and the faction wars, exactly as I planned and anticipated, was to pick up the final 7 stars for the Sylvan Watchers. So I have a clear-cut advantage over anybody. You know, you're looking, that's 34 more stars. That's at least 11 stages completely 3-starred and one of a single star ahead of the next player. I'm not saying they're not able to do it, but as the leaderboard shows, thus far I'm the only one who's done it. So day 37, 427 faction war stars. I believe my method that I've shown in the previous uploads speaks for itself as that leaderboard shows. So, Arbiter Missions. I cleared the Void Keep, which obviously shouldn't have been a problem anyways, but now I'm gated for needing 200 arena wins, and I picked up 29. And I made a bit of an error. I got excited to try to collect um, the daily, to get the refill, the daily quests, so that I could level the new hero that I pulled from a Void Shard. So I had 5 wins that I did that could be up there. It doesn't really matter, but you know, if you're really, really trying to push, I'm letting you know some of the errors that I've made that can hinder your progress. Then I have to upgrade an affinity bonus to level 10. That won't be an issue. I almost have 500 medals currently. Just to complete that 200 is wins is 800 medals anyways. Then we're going to do a Demon Lord hit on, it's changed to Force Affinity. So I'm an all magic team. So hopefully I can still 2-key, but I only got 19 million on my first key today. Anyways, after that, it's all these stage 17s, which I already had on auto before I pulled who I pulled. And then with those diamonds that are available there, I could maybe spend them on the same day to do 75 million damage on the Demon Lord. If I time it all for one day, I get 4 keys. 2 of them takes care of that one. Another 2 should take care of almost half of this one. So I would spend 300 diamonds. Then I have all these stage 20s, no question about it. And again, for Fire Knight, this hero that I pulled is going to make my Fire Knight instead of 10 minutes, probably 7, depending. Then I got to work on my stage 20, but I think I got it covered. And then Arbiter's waiting. And I think I have a straight walking path to Arbiter. And the reason that I say that is from all the heroes that I've tried to pull, and I was hoping to pull Venus because she's still up here, she's still available. This would have been the dream, I figured. But I pulled an oldie but goldie. I gotta pulled her. Are you kidding, man? I couldn't believe it. I got that void shard from making my Sabitha a 6-star ascended void for the Arbiter mission, and Cold Heart came walking out. Bro, are you? If you don't know this hero, you pull this hero, she becomes a priority, especially for where I am. I don't think I could have pulled a better hero because Cold Heart's useful for me in the Fire Knight, which was a bit of a struggle. I've tried stage 20 once on auto and it takes 10 minutes. And Spider 20, I haven't even cleared 18 yet. Venus might have made it happen, but I have a AoE burn hero available already with Ultimate Gaelic, okay? Or Golek. And if you don't know this guy, the only issue that he is that he's got a stipulation for his AoE burn. He has a 50% chance to do it if he has increased attack on. So he can increase his own attack, but it takes a turn, right? Every one of his moves has a chance to apply HP burn as well. And so I figure with him, Cold Heart, Armiger, my Taragi, and maybe Apothecary. But I might put Magnar in. It depends. I think I got a straight walk to Arbiter. But if you are struggling anywhere in the dungeons for opening the Fire Knight Shield, Cold Heart, my friends, and mine obviously she's only a 5-star. She's not super built, but that's not bad for considering I pulled her yesterday. She's already 5-star, 5-star ascended, 150 crit damage, just waiting. Okay, and how I got that is because I got these crit damage gloves that I've been waiting and waiting to put on somebody. Obviously, I would have preferred to keep getting crit rate. However, on Cold Heart, getting the defense is not bad. 20% defense on a hero that she's got super low defense anyways. I need to get her above 1200. That's going to help. Okay. I'm not saying my Cold Heart's built spectacular. You don't need her to have attack. You could put on like accuracy, resist, or some kind of defensive stat here. But look at that. On the Immortal Chest, all that crit rate, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I got so excited when she came walking out. I still haven't pulled a legendary hero. I've mostly only pulled on, 2 times chance or boosted chances. Doesn't matter to me now. The game, as I said in a couple uploads ago, this is the book they assigned me to read, and I think I've been reading this book correctly. So, Infection Wars, it's coming up today for the High Elf. High Elf only has 28. I ran out of keys the other day. Oh, who else is opening, by the way? So I don't think, yeah, my Undead Horde won't progress today, but I think I'll be able to take care of the stage 14 boss on High Elves here. And the reason that I say that is I'll show you who I have. And I'm fairly certain Apothecary can take care of it all by himself anyways. And if you look, I've got a 5-star max skilled prosecutor. And it's an A1 that depletes turn meter, okay? I picked up an exemplar. So while I'm leveling Cold Heart, because I'm going to 6-star her, try to, today, exemplar will be a 4-star. And then Elhain and Eris just as backup fodder. I'm not trying to 3-star stage 14. I just want that epic book to go into my Taragi, okay? So today, I'm trying to remain calm. I had my heart going for about an hour after I did some shoveling, came down, made a cup of coffee. And Canada loves their coffee. I love it as well, even if I wasn't Canadian. And without further ado, there's really nothing much left to show, I think, except for the attempt on the clan boss hit. Let's see if anything special comes in the arena here. Yeah, most of these, obviously I can beat up this panda, and I advise you not to fight any of these teams, even if it's not a speed lead, or it might be a hybrid with 2 leads because of the faction Unity Guardian or whatever it's called, but I would never beat this team. But I'm going to show you my new arena team. I decided to bring Dathy in instead of Kale. And it made sense because my Dathy, he's a force, so it helps sometimes, but he's my only debuff that I have, right? So if you don't know Dathy, he self-buffs himself with accuracy, increased attack, grants an extra turn. So now, yeah, he can apply his decreased defense, and if it lands on every target, he gets another turn after that. And since I have my Dathy in Relentless, sometimes he gets 6 turns. Sometimes it's crazy. Just keeps going. So let's go into the clan boss. And I don't think I'm going to two key today. As you'll see here, I'm sitting at 19.5 million, and it's just a little bit of poor RNG on the Force. But we're against, or pardon me, on the Void. Now we're against Force, and that's my clan boss team. They're all magic heroes. Until Dathy gets his War Master, I don't have a sub for any of these heroes. So I'll shuffle them over so we can pretty much make sure, so I can make sure that you can see them. And again, this is mostly for the new people that are interested in learning some of the nuances for clan boss. So this is all manual. It's not going to be fast. It's probably going to take at least 10 minutes to do this. Okay. But the idea now is that I'm showing you, even against the off affinity, okay, I have a very poor chance to land critical hits, especially with Alice on all three hits. You'll see the boss has that increased attack buff, and that's nasty. But Alice, with 360 accuracy, strips it off no problem. No problem. You'll see how she applies her brimstone or smite, no problem. The issue is this guy right here, Jarrag. He's only got, I think, 200 and something accuracy and a 65% chance to land decrease attack. So not landing the decrease attack against a strong affinity against me means that I'm not making it to turn 30 unless I'm very lucky. Okay. Plus the boss, you see now all my guys, I don't have a cleanse. My goal around the cleanse is to have my apothecary fast enough that he meter boosts everybody so that hopefully they don't have the debuff by the time, the boss goes for another turn or they have another turn on the boss. You know what I mean? So the debuff should come off. And this is just the start of it. In about, I think, boss turn 7, I'll have a slightly different rotation where Jarag's no longer the stun target. But at the beginning, you'll see I'm not using Tagor's special skills yet. I want to try to sneak in as much of his War Master as I can because that's the only damage I'm going to get is the War Masters and Giant Slayers and if poisons land. Okay. But now I can use it. So I'm not trying to res anybody with Tagor. I'm just trying to give them the shield so that they stop taking damage currently. There we go. Good job, Jarag. And so part of the Arbiter missions that I just passed require you to 6-star ascend one of each affinity. Good job, Alice. So Jarag now has a banner. And I forget if I have it. I might have had accuracy on it as a substat. I can't remember. And I probably could have used Jarag's ally protect at that moment, but it's early. And I see that the boss has decreased attack on. And I know that my Jarag is going to be the stun target. So I don't want him to be on a cooldown and stun. Because essentially the 4-turn cooldown, if you get stunned, it turns into a 5-turn cooldown. So again, for the new people, that's a nuance of the clan boss in my setup. Wow, Jarag's doing pretty good. I talk smack about him and he's like, hey man, it's enough bullshit. Let me show you how it's done here. So you see how everybody except for Alice has 1 speed boost left. I can only heal Alice if I apply Tagor's speed boost. Alice is going to get a turn ahead of the boss. If I don't heal her, she's going to pick up the increased defense again from Tagor. So that means Jarag is still my stun target. It makes more sense to me to do it that way. And hopefully Alice doesn't keep picking up extra turns because now she's probably the stun target. So instead of healing her because it's early, I'm just going to speed boost everybody and try to get a couple poisons in by kill. If you get 1 out of 4 on the off affinity, I can't argue with that. And again, it's early. I'm going to let Alice get stunned, but Tagor got to go. So the boss will never pick the person with increased defense unless their health is below 50%, when everybody else is the same affinity. So Jarag gets punched. And that's how you can manipulate the mechanics of the stun if you're running a team like me without a cleanse. Okay. I'm not saying it's the best team to do. This isn't ideal, but it's a 2-key almost every time for me. Kill is usually the other option because I purposely have him built with a lot less HP. but that would mean that Alice has to remain higher HP than Kale if Jarrag isn't the stun target. And you'll see a little later on how the variable changes because Kale has lifesteal, Alice doesn't, and Jarrag, once he gets punched in a couple more turns, like the boss is really going to start hurting people, and his health will be at 50%. So Tagore will always put the increased defense onto Jarrag. So I got to make sure to keep Alice up. Okay. And the same thing goes for any affinity on this type of a setup. All right. So now you'll see how little the turn meter is on the boss. Okay. And I think Apoth has a boost available. So I'm not going to use Tagore's shield yet. It doesn't make sense. Oh, see, Kale didn't land anything there. And if you're not familiar with this mechanic in the game, is you cannot land a debuff on a weak hit. And that's why being against the stronger affinity is so detrimental to your overall score. And I was one turn off on the cycle here. Yeah, that's okay. It's still early, and it was only the punch anyways. So talking has got me a little confused, but you'll see how it went to Kale instead of Alice because they had similar percentages of health. But Kale has less overall health. Okay. The boss's punch, if you don't know as well, it's based on enemy max HP. So to make Kale the off target, it's highly unlikely until like turn 15 the boss would one shot him, especially with decreased attack up, no matter what the affinity is. So bear that in mind when you're building a team. If you're not using a buff, or pardon me, uh, a cleanser. I don't have a cleanser, so I've got to manipulate who and when the boss punches people, because eventually it's always going to be Jarrag. In about another 6 or 7 boss turns, Jarrag's always going to be the punch target. So I need to save Tagore's res to pull him up right away. And it'll probably come along soon. I'm gonna speed through this just a little bit right now, okay? So Tagore is probably the biggest surprise for me thus far in the free to play. I've seen uploads before by other content creators in the end game and end game gear. And that's what I attributed to how powerful Tagore seemed to be and how much of an MVP in those teams. Then I'm like, you know what? I've got a Kale. I need another 6-star quick. I want a 3-star olive brutal campaign as quick as possible. Tagore's got a res and a shield. I didn't have Apoth at the time. It made sense to me. All of a sudden, I forget, it was like day 12 maybe? I really forget. Maybe it was day 14, but I did Ice Golem 20 on auto because of Tagore with a level 50 Armiger, a level 50 unbooked, unascended Ugo, and a level 50 Sun Wukong. So again, you'll see the boss has a full turn meter. I probably could have used Tagore's ability there. But I forget on the affinity switch. Oh, Alice didn't strip that time. This is going to hurt. On the affinity switch, Tagore would be using his shield at that time, and Jarrag would have done it the turn before. So I apologize about that. I got a little confused on that. When the boss switches affinity, the ability cycles slightly. I always save the allied protect for when the boss does the, is it crashing through? Yeah, the crash through. Anyways, come on, Alice. There you go. So she's only missed it once to my knowledge. I apologize as well. There's ambient noise in the background that I'm dealing with. So if you can hear it, again, I apologize for that. But it's a pretty wintry day. There's a lot of people inside that normally aren't. So Tagore's going to go, and so is Alice. And they're both going to drop their increased defense. But Tagore's going to reapply it with his A1 here. So what I'm hoping to do here is I'm going to heal everybody and put on a speed boost on Jarrag. Alice is going to lose her increased defense. Then I think I get Apothecary's boost to get Tagore another turn. So Jarrag's going to keep his increased defense. Now Alice is going to pick up an increased defense, and Kale's going to get punched. And that's how I manipulate my clan boss runs. So if you're having any struggles in the clan boss, The first thing I suggest you do is make sure that your heroes have their masteries. Spend the time it takes to get as many, at least four. If you can get four of these of whoever's in your main clan boss team, their masteries, it's going to show up massively on your scoreboard. You're going to say, man, I went from like, barely making a 4 key on brutal to a 2 key. Plus, if you have them in any kind of a life steal, when they proc a Giant Slayer or War Master, it's almost a full heal, almost guaranteed. Okay, it's been 10 minutes now. I'm going to start plowing through just a little bit here. So I forget what this one's called. Belittle. Belittle is the one where I'm going to use Tagor's shield here. Okay, and I'm going to save the Ally Protect for the second boss ability, Crash Through. And I don't know why the game does that. I guess to keep it fresh and difficult for us, but sometimes you forget that the boss changes the order of their abilities. So this isn't the one that hurts. Okay, it sucks that it applies the debuff, but it's not going to one-shot my heroes. So I forget here. I think I'm going to use the Ally Protect. I forgot if I have my Apothecary's boost available or not. And you watch Kale, full heal, because he procced a War Master. So he hit the boss for 60k, and he heals for 30% of that. Kale's barely got 35k. Anyways, I'm going to heal Alice up. Ally Protect is up. I missed the decrease attack, so this is going to hurt. You're going to watch everybody get continuous heals soon because of Jarrag. It's coming right here. Apoth might be in real trouble, so I'm going to heal him up just to make sure. Oh, it's the punch. Anyways, Apothecary has a blood shield ring, and he has emergency heal blessing. So whenever he does any damage, whether he hits them for 1 HP or 1,000 or 1,000,000, he gains a little shield, and when that shield breaks or expires, he heals a bit. So this one should hurt. Again, I'm sorry. There's where my office is. There's family that lives upstairs, so there's a whole lot of shenanigans going on. It's also like a 5-day weekend in Canada because the snow days were happening for school, and there's Family Day. It's like a national holiday in Canada on the Monday. So this is the first time I've ever actually tried to do any recording with a bunch of stomping and yelling kids upstairs. I don't really care. I think it's awesome that the family are safe together in this wintry weather, but it's making me have a little difficulty here on the Clan Boss. But if you're watching this for any kind of tips, that means that you're probably having some sort of difficulty yourself as well. So you can understand that whatever your difficulties are in life, you can always laugh about it. Like I'm not going to 2-key today. It's quite obvious, especially on this run. It hasn't gone too well. But if I get 14 million, I'm okay. It's like you pick up 19 million on the first key, 14 million on the next. The third key, all you need is like 7, 8 million. Yeah, that's going to happen. So you see how everybody had an increased defense except for Tagore, and he chose Apoth. I guess there was a percentage difference in Apoth to Tagore that the boss said Apoth was the weaker target that time, even though Tagore didn't have increased defense. So I have to use the shield of Tagore because the boss is going to do the crash through right here. And I don't have decreased defense up on the boss. And I can't get it up. And that's the end of it. I was pretty satisfied to get, 14 million, a little under while I'm having a struggle to record here. I can't argue. Go, Alice, go. Come on. If she proc one more time, it might have been 13 million. I can't argue with that, okay? It's very rare to pull 14 million on the off affinity for me. But yeah, 32, 32, and you only need 39, 1. So I'm 7 million off. Not too bad. I hope if you've been watching the series, this is your first time seeing any of it, and you're still here seeing that, you can still have fun, especially as free to play, even when you're not successful. Even when you're messing around like I am and you're dead tired from shoveling for an hour for the past, 2 days straight, a foot of snow each day or 30 centimeters each day has fallen, you can still have fun. I'm happy enough knowing that the game gave me Cold Heart. I would have loved Venus, but I think Cold Heart's probably better. It's easier for me to book her. I already pumped a bunch of into her masteries. Once she hits 5 star today, what's in my champion vault? I have two 5 stars here, a bunch of ready to 4 star food with a 4 star there. On the daily quest for advanced quest, I'm going to get a 5 star chicken today, and I already have a 5 star chicken sitting here ready to go with a 4 star. So I'm pretty certain my cold heart will be completely maxed by the time I'm ready to tackle Spider 20. I wish you all the best. Please drive safe. Please drive according to the conditions. And if you've got elderly neighbors or infirm people that you know are nearby, please just go knock on their door. Even if they feel hassle, at least you both know somebody cares. Take care, everyone.